Well, hello and welcome to my latest video. First of all, you're probably wondering about this t-shirt. Now this t-shirt, I don't know if you can read that, it says Marmot Tours Classic Coals. Now Marmot Tours, I have no connection with Marmot Tours, by the way, but Marmot Tours are a company that organise cycling tours throughout Europe, and I've been on 5, I think, or 6 of their tours. Really good company, really nice people, really well organised cycle tours, and they need your support in these difficult times. I had a tour booked with them back in March with Gran Canaria, had to cancel it, and they refunded my money straight away. So great company, and if you're looking to do a cycle tour in Europe, either this year, hopefully, or next year, then try Marmot Tours. There you are, there's the advert out of the way. So what are we doing today? Well, we're in the workshop and we're standing in front of my Fairlight Seacan gravel bike, and I've been watching a couple of videos where people have been a bit sniffy about gravel bikes and saying, well, you know, why would you want a gravel bike, and don't buy a gravel bike. And I thought it was about time that I added a little bit of balance to this argument and actually gave you a series of reasons as to why you should buy a gravel bike. So let's start off with the first reason. The first reason is it annoys the hell out of mountain bikers. Now, must stop saying now. I said that in my last video. I say now too often, but I've got nothing against mountain bikers. You know the people I know. No, you don't know the people I know. You know the people I mean. They have baggy shorts, and they have dirty knees, spattered with mud, and they have those helmets that got like a front bit. Do you know what I mean? I don't know why they have that. And they talk about shredding, and they talk about trails, and they talk about suspension and all this kind of crap. Now, did it again. There are two types of bikers in this world, as we all know. There are roadies and there are mountain bikers. If you buy a gravel bike, then you really piss off the mountain bikers, because you start to encroach on their territory. You start to get off the road, you get onto the tracks, you get onto the trails, you get onto the gravel, if you can find some gravel, and they hate it because they think, look, we're better than the bloody roadies who are too frightened to go steeply downhill or on the rocks or whatever. But then, oh, look, it's a gravel biker, and they don't like it. So, yes, my friends, piss off a mountain biker and go and buy a gravel bike. Reason number 2. Now, reason number 2. The bike trade has suffered a bit in recent years. It's doing pretty well at the moment as a consequence of coronavirus. Every cloud has a silver lining, as they say, or every man's floor is another man's ceiling, as Paul Simon once memorably said. So the bike trade is doing okay at the moment, but they need your support, and that means you need to go and buy some stuff. And where do you start with your stuff? Well, why not start with a gravel bike? Of course, you may not be able to get a gravel bike at the moment because they're all sold out, as all bikes are sold out, but put in the order. Give the bike trade some business. They need your money. And as I've said before in some of my previous videos, if you don't support your local bike shop, it will not be there. It might be nice to buy stuff on Wiggle and Chain Reaction, but most bike shops will price match if you ask them nicely, and it's well worth doing. So support your local bike shop, go and buy a gravel bike. If you live, as I do, in southern England, in Kent, as it happens, most of the roads are not really suitable for road bikes. They're covered in potholes, they're covered in gravel, yes, they're covered in bits of flint, twigs, running water. Has anybody noticed how many burst water mains there are? It doesn't matter where you go. Near me, I'm in West Wickham in Kent, doesn't matter where you go, there is a road closed sign because there is another bloody burst water main. So the roads are not really suitable for an ordinary bike with ordinary tyres. You need something a bit stronger, you need something a little bit more puncture proof, not that gravel tyres are necessarily 100% puncture proof, But if you try and ride on the roads of Kent, you're liable to come a cropper. So get a bike that's built for the roads of Kent, which in the rest of the world is a gravel bike, because what you in the US, and I got a number of comments on my last video about, oh, we've got plenty of gravel in the US. Well, good for you, sunshine. I ain't got no gravel in this country unless you count a B road or a back road, or in some cases an A road, which is generally covered in gravel, but they call it a road. So get a gravel bike, because it's the only way you're going to be able to safely ride on the roads of Kent. Reason number 4. You need lower gears. You're not a roadie. You're not an old school cyclist who's got a 11 to 18 block and a 52-42 chainring. No, you're not. You might think you are, but you're not. Most of you, not all of you, most of you are like me. You're 64, you like riding your bike, you're half knackered, but you need lower gears. You need lower gears because your legs are knackered. You need lower gears because you want to get up the hills. You need lower gears just because it's easier to spin than it is to force. You can't see my legs, but I'm forcing my legs round on the pedals. Now, you can get lower gears on a road bike. Yes, of course you can. But gravel bikes generally are designed with much lower gears. You can get a 1x group set. This bike, the Fairlight Seacon, has a Shimano GRX 1x group set with a 42 front chainring and an 11 to 42, yes, 11 to 42 rear cassette. And you can go lower, not with Shimano GRX, but you can with SRAM, or you can with other systems. And you can use a 2x system on the Shimano, which has a, or you can have a 46-30 front chainring combination and an 11 to 34 rear cassette. So you've got lower gears. It makes it easier to get up the hills. If you're going up steeper gravel hills, which you tend to find if you're struggling a bit on the dirt or the rough surfaces, then lower gears are much better. You need lower gears. Stop trying to force your way around with the higher gears and making out that you're some kind of raffer-dressed roadie and you can cope with it because you've got legs like pipe cleaners. No, pipe cleaners, not legs like pipe cleaners. You've got muscles like, anyway, you've got muscles like a person with muscles has in their legs, but you don't have those muscles, so you need the lower gears. Use them. Get a gravel bike. You've spent years sitting at your desk in the office, a sedentary lifestyle. You haven't done the moves, you haven't done the exercise, your muscles have seized up, you're stiff, you're creaking, your joints don't work, you're not supple, you've given up on the yoga and the bloody Pilates and all that nonsense that you thought was going to make yourself better because you tried it for a bit and it didn't work. So your muscles are buggered. You can't get down low on a road bike. You're not going to ride with a slammed stem. That's for the kids. That's for the supple people. But for us, the people of a certain age, by which I mean anybody over 30, the unsuppled life, right? We lead an unsuppled, sedentary, crap, unexercised, stiff-jointed life. So we need the relaxed geometry, the gentle geometry, the upright but not too upright position that we get from a gravel bike. We want a nice, comfortable, soft, armchair-like saddle. We want a perch. We want a soft, velveteen perch. We don't want a hard, physic racer's saddle. We're not those kind of people. Get a gravel bike. You know it makes sense. Your body will like you for it. I once thought I could get into the TT game, so I bought a TT bike and I went on it once, 3 miles, and I was down here like this, you know, Chris Froome, head down. I was on the what do you call it, the aero bars like that, and my stomach was constricted. I couldn't breathe. My neck started to seize up. My shoulders started to seize up. I thought, what the fuck are you doing, Julian? You can't maintain this position, and you're not willing to do the exercise and the yoga and the Pilates and the supple stuff to make yourself able to do the positions. I gave up on the TT bike and I sold it after 3 miles. So get a gravel bike. It's got gentle geometry. It's got the kind of setup that you need. It's what you want. You know this N+1 business? N+1 means the number of bikes, or the ideal number of bikes is N, which is the number of bikes that you have now, +1. You always need another bike, and you always want another bike. It doesn't matter what sort of bike it is. It can be a road bike, it can be a mountain bike even, it can be a touring bike, it can be a Brompton bike, it can be an e-bike, or it could be a gravel bike, it could be a hybrid bike, it could be a tandem, it could be a tricycle, if you can still get tricycles these days, and I'm sure you can on eBay. You can get everything on eBay. I'm not sponsored by eBay, but you can. So why not get another bike? Why not feed your N+1-ness? Why not convince your wife or your spouse, your significant other, that the best way to save all the money that you've not spent on commuting to your crummy little office in central London is to buy a bike? And what better bike to buy to add to your stable than a gravel bike? So get a bike. You know you want one. N+1 makes a lot of sense. Make it a gravel bike. It's this year's big thing for a reason. Gravel bikes are made from different materials. You can get carbon gravel bikes, you can get aluminium gravel bikes, and you can get steel gravel bikes. Steel is real, boys and girls. Steel is where it's at. This is a steel bike. And unless you've ridden a steel bike, sorry, the old voice is going a bit, starting to crumble along with the rest of my body and my mind. Unless you've ridden a steel bike, unless you've ridden a steel bike, you will have no idea of just how comfortable and smooth and easy and delightful it is to sit on a steel bike with fat tires and a nice comfy saddle. You can ease your way around the roads at a decent pace in comfort. So your body is supple, it doesn't seize up. You can spin your legs because you've got nice low gears. It's nice and soft and comfortable to ride because you've got these great big fat tyres. And the steel bikes with a carbon fork, and most steel bikes you buy these days will have a carbon fork, but it allows you to find an artisan bike maker. Now Fairlight, would they be called an artisan bike maker? I'm not sure. They're a fairly small setup, but they're growing because they are very popular. So at what point do you go from being an artisan bike maker to being just another bike maker? Well, I think Fairlight are still at the artisan level, and good luck to them. I really enjoy this bike. I'm not sponsored by them, but it's a really good bike and it's well worth your money. The next reason, and by the way, looking at my notes, we are up to reason number 8. Rim brakes are shit. They're not. Disc brakes are better. Just take it from me. You're old. Safety is important. Your spouse worries about you. Disc brakes let you stop quicker, more effectively. There's much better modulation. If you're in the mountains, if you're in the wet, you want disc brakes. And the vast majority, if not all, of the gravel bikes which are made are sold with disc brakes. Don't be one of those people who say, oh, let's save the rim brake. It's rubbish. Don't save the rim brake. Leave the rim brake for the people who feel the need for a rim brake. If you want to get a decent bike with a decent ride, with good stopping power, that's going to be comfortable, that's going to keep you safe, that's going to make your family worry about you less on the road, then get a bike with disc brakes. And that means, okay, a lot of road bikes these days are sold with disc brakes, but get a gravel bike and you've got disc brakes along with all the other advantages. Reason number 9. Do you remember, and you probably don't remember, but back in the 60s, Ken Kesey, Neil Cassidy, the acid house test people, not acid house music, this is acid as in LSD. Neil Cassidy drove a bus, and the sign on the bus was further. And with a gravel bike, you go further. You go further away. You go further along. You get out there. You make tracks. You go for a swim in Lake Me. You find or you seek out your limits. You seek out the edge of the world. You decide to prove to yourself that the flat earthers are right all along, and if you ride for far enough into the night on a gravel bike in supreme comfort, one day, yes, one day, my friends, and dare to dream about this, one day you will find the edge of the world, and you will see for yourself, never mind what the scientists tell you, never mind what the ecologists tell you, never mind what all the other people do who try and convince you that the world is not flat. Go to the edge and take the risk and fall off into eternity, still riding your gravel bike with your disc brakes and your comfortable saddle and your low gears and your sweet geometry. Yes, my friends, get out on it. Get out there and find the edge of the world. I'm going. I hope there's a hotel there, because I'm not camping. You can fucking forget about that. But I hope there's a hotel, preferably 5-star, at the edge of the world where I can stay and they take American Express. And the last reason, this is reason number 10 to get a gravel bike, is it pisses off the roadies. Roadies, they love their fast bikes. They love their rim brakes. They love their 52, 42 chain sets and their 11 to 25 gear setups. They love their uncomfortable saddles. They love their Rafa kit. They love rushing past you on the road and not smiling and not saying hello. They love the way their eyes are hidden behind their dark glasses. They love the way that they can prove to everyone how strong and how fast they are and how skinny their tires are and how skinny their bodies are. But if you come along on a gravel bike with 40mm tires like this one has gone on, which have got supreme rolling resistance, you're on a comfy bike and you ease past them with a supercilious grin on your face, you've managed to piss off the roadies, you've managed to piss off the mountain bikers, you're in the element, you're searching for the edge of the world, and you have found the future you were looking for. And the future, my friends, is a gravel bike. If you haven't got one, go and buy one. And if you're thinking of which one to get, the Fairlight Seacon is a pretty good bike. So, thanks for watching. See you next time.